This is on the wall of the Phillies complex here in Clearwater. This is what they want more of. They won the division last year, but they came up short in the playoffs once again. The bats, just like the previous year in the last few games of the postseason, they went cold. So this spring, they've been working on hitting, chasing less pitches, and using more of the field. The Phillies are chasing down that trophy just like the Eagles did. All right, we are here with JT Realmuto, and give us an idea of what it's like to catch, not only for the studs of Zack Wheeler and Aaron Nola, but now you have guys like Jesús Luzardo. What's it like to catch for him?
He's awesome. It's a lot easier to catch him than hit him. I know that much. After us having to face him for the last 3 or 4 years with Miami, he's got electric stuff, throws a lot of strikes, attacks hitters. He's a competitor on the mound, so I'm excited to get to work with him.
Going in, is this the best rotation you think you've had on paper? Because then you can also have Andrew Painter ready to go, and Taijuan Walker's there as well.
Yeah, for me on paper, I don't think there's a doubt that this is the best and the deepest, really, rotation that we've had here, especially since I've been in Philly. I think from top to bottom, we've got studs that throw a lot of innings. They give us a chance to win every night. So, like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun to catch these guys.
How is it when a new guy comes in like Jesús? As you said, you faced him, but getting to know him and what he likes and how you want to call the game with him.
Yeah, that's kind of the fun part of my job is you can always see what a guy's like competing against him, but actually being on the same field with him, having those small conversations, getting to know him off the field, what he likes to do, how he likes to pitch, where he's comfortable at in certain situations. I think that's the fun part of catching that not a lot of people get to see. So that's what I've been enjoying, getting to do this spring training, just kind of getting to dive into him and learn him as a person.
As far as hitting goes, Rob Thompson, after the season, said wanted to get everybody to use all parts of the field and then maybe plate discipline, bring chase rate down. Have there been adjustments in spring training working on anything?
Yeah, I think every spring training you come in with adjustments and goals that you want to work on, and that's certainly one of the goals for our team is to chase less and use the whole field, like Rob said. I think it's certainly easier said than done with the type of pitching nowadays, but it's something that we're going to continue to work on and continue to get better. We know that once you get to the postseason, putting the ball in play is king and not striking out, making the defense make plays, and so that's something we're going to work on all season.
When you have the challenging balls and strikes in spring training, even though it's not going to be used this year, maybe next year, do you think it helps the hitters when they're at the plate?
I think so, yeah. I think long term this is definitely going to benefit hitters just because having a consistent strike zone, I think hitters are going to get better and better at knowing that strike zone, and if it's the same every day, we're going to be able to make adjustments and adapt, and I think it's in long term, I think it's certainly going to help the hitters.
Obviously, there's always a sense of urgency with teams for you guys. Right now, you and Kyle and Ranger not under contract after this year. Is there even more of a sense of urgency with this group getting it done together?
I don't necessarily think of it that way. Every year for me, there's a sense of urgency. We all know how good this group is, how quality this team is, and we enjoy playing together. So every year when we come into spring training, there's a real sense of urgency to win that year. So that's no different this year.
We were talking to Max Kepler about almost being a little nervous coming into this clubhouse after all he's known as Minnesota, and he talked about how welcoming this clubhouse is. Give us an idea of the vibe of just how close this clubhouse is. We've heard it for years, but when you welcome in somebody new and get them ingratiated.
Yeah, we just try to make everybody feel as comfortable as they can, as quickly as we can. So there's not a ton of ego in this clubhouse, so we all get along really well. And obviously there's quality ball players, but there's really quality people as well. So just being able to welcome people and make them part of the family is something we all enjoy doing.
We've heard that the hard work is going on down here, but there's also a couple nice golf outings. And we always hear from guys, kind of like with the Eagles, they always say Jake Elliott, he is the best golfer, the best athlete. Are you still the champ when it comes to that?
If you go off my last round, I would say no. I played pretty terrible the last time I played. But overall, I think it's close. Cody Clemens is a stud. He's a stick. Trey's getting better. Bryson's getting slightly better. But no, I don't know if I'm the best, but I put up a pretty good fight.
They're coming after you, huh?
Yeah, they're trying. They're practicing a lot, you can tell.
That's funny. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it, JT. Thanks for your time, man. All right, we are here with Kyle Schwarber, and is this kind of a cool break from facing other pitching when you get to face some of your best arms?
Yeah, when you're back here and it's kind of a long trip there across down to Fort Myers, and you get to see some of our arms and some of our top arms, that feel like they're tops around the league, that you're not really kind of missing anything when you can take these at bats and see some really quality arms.
Last year, as the playoffs ended, Rob Thompson and Kevin Long talked about maybe using all of the field more, plate discipline, all that stuff after the playoffs. Has there been a lot of things that you guys have been working on this spring?
I think the biggest thing is just having that, self-evaluation period where, players can kind of look back and see what they did well, what they didn't do well, and obviously the team aspect, what we did well, what we didn't do well, and, address that. And I feel like everyone's doing a really good job this spring of, coming in with conscious work and trying to address the things that they want to address and, and be better for it. So, I think that's the only way that you can be better is have experience and learn from your experiences and move forward.
Rob Thompson told us he's got a tough decision coming up here with the lineup. And I know people have asked you about it. I think Rob said you prefer to lead off, but you're willing to hit anywhere. How do you think this will shake out?
Like I said, I really don't know. And I'm, player number 12, right? And that wherever my name's going to be written in the lineup, I'm going to go out there and do it to the best of my abilities. And, I think I prefer to be playing for the Phillies and prefer to be, trying to be a quality, productive player for these guys. So wherever that is, that's where I'm going to be.
And we saw these last couple of years, you're able to hit for power. Then last year, contact, bringing the average up, and you're kind of able to adjust to whatever the situation is. Do you feel you're ready for that this year, no matter where you're hitting?
Yeah, I feel like I'm still trying to make some adjustments to, feel like whenever, first game comes that I'm going to be in a really good position from day one and not feel like I want to play catch up. I think that's the beautiful thing about our game that, you feel like you could have it, and then a week into the season, you're going to have to make another adjustment, or a month into the season, 2 months into the season, you're going to continually be making adjustments. So that's the great thing about our game, but I feel like I got a pretty solid foundation on what I want to get done.
We talked to some of the guys, even Nick Castellanos says seeing the Eagles win the Super Bowl and having a parade, what kind of inspiration does that kind of put in your mind about what this team can do?
Yeah, I don't think anyone doesn't picture that trying to be us, right? I think that's a good thing to have, and I know our fans are going to be excited for whenever we get rolling back up there. We're just coming off a championship with the Eagles, and they're going to want us to follow that. And I think that's what we aspire for. That's what we dream for. That's what we play for. That's what we fight for every single day, is to be that last team holding up the trophy. So, and having that break down Broad Street. So that's what we're looking for, and that's where we want to be. So we're excited for the season.
Obviously, there's always a sense of urgency, but when you see there's a couple guys like yourself and JT and Ranger right now contractually not after this season, but hopefully that happens, is there just a sense of urgency to do it with this group?
I think there's always been the sense of urgency that, I think when I came walking in here in 22, that was kind of, the goal, and especially when you make the playoffs, right? That you're trying to go, you're trying to be in the World Series and trying to win the World Series, and then that, I feel like the experiences that we've had throughout these last couple of years, that, of just being there and, being in a World Series, having some hard losses, right? You got to be able to learn from those, and you have to be better for that at the end of the day. And that you got to play 162 to find your way into that postseason, and then in the postseason, this comes down to us and making sure that we're going to be playing our best baseball right at the right time, and try to ride it for as long as we can.
Final question for you. They've added some guys to this team. Max Kepler, he seems hungry to show like he's healthy now. What do you think he could do coming in here? Yeah,
it's been really impressed, and I played against Max for years, and I played against him in the minor leagues, and he's big, he's physical, he's got the power, he's got the speed, he's kind of got it all, and it's going to be fun to see what he puts together for us this year. And I think that the way that he's been working, he's been diligently working in the cage a lot and trying to really hammer down what he wants to do with his swing and everything like that. And it's been showing, big steps in the way that he's been playing these spring games. And, want that to keep translating over into the season. So, I think that he could see a really big year from him.
Appreciate your time, man. Enjoy
Thank you.
it.
Appreciate it.
All right, we are here with Phillies ace Zack Wheeler, and we did see some things on Instagram from your wife Dominique. A little bakery session with your kids. Was the treats good?
Yeah, my wife can bake a good bit, so I make the kids happy, and I try to help out as much as I can.
Yeah. You're really in a good spot with Phillies and family in your life, right?
Yeah, everything's good. Can't complain. Got another one on the way, so we're excited about that, and excited about the season.
How about facing some of your great hitters and getting out there for a simulated game? What is that like, and kind of seeing their tendencies and what they bring?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both, right? Like, we know what their tendencies are, and they know what ours is, so it's kind of a little cat and mouse. But at the end of the day, you're just trying to attack and make it as real as a game as you can, for a sim game with nobody here, and try to get the adrenaline going a little bit. So It was all fun.
Max Kepler, we were talking to him, new to the team. He was actually saying there's a little intimidation for him when he gets to face you.
Yeah,
at first.
That's funny hearing that. No, he's had some good at-bats off me so far, so we got a good little thing going, and he hit a home run off me the other day off a curveball, so I tried to give him a couple today, and I kind of shanked it a little bit. So he had a good bat off me today also, and he's going to be a good addition.
What kind of honor is it to be the opening day starter for an organization like the Phillies?
It's a big honor. It doesn't matter when it is, who it is. You take pride in it, and it means you had a good year the year before, and I think anybody would take pride in it. It's a lot of fun. You get the season going, and you want to get out there and get that first win.
Now, last couple years, you've kind of brought a new pitch to the table. Coming here to spring training, anything in the works this year? Or not so much this year?
Yeah, I kind of ran out of stuff to throw, so maybe there's some new locations with some of the pitches that I have. We worked that in today, so we'll see how it goes. See if we keep it going.
So Saquon Barkley just won the Super Bowl with the Eagles, and everybody talked about having one of the best free agent acquisitions with the Eagles in their history. And you're mentioned with that in Philadelphia sports history, one of the best free agent acquisitions. How proud are you and grateful that you've been able to post and the production you've had here with the Phillies?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, like you just said, was being able to go out there mostly every 5 days and just give the team good quality starts. And, I've done well. And, it's pretty cool seeing him come from New York and that situation and coming here and helping the team win a Super Bowl. And, the city loves that. They eat it up. And to be, in his position has got to be pretty awesome.
And you guys have watched the parades for the Eagles. How badly do you want a parade?
Yeah, I mean, Harp always says it, right? We want that parade down Broad Street. So that's always the goal coming in every year. We just came up a little short the past few years. But, at the end of the day, it's a new season, and you got to go out there and get to the playoffs as a start, and then, just hope it turns magical for us. You
have been right there for the Cy Young twice now. Is that a big goal of yours to be Cy Young? Yeah, definitely. I think that's every pitcher's goal is to be Cy Young, and, if I'm going out there and pitching well enough to possibly win a Cy Young or even come close to it, then more than likely I'm helping the team. So, it's a personal goal coming in every year is to, make the All-Star team, win a Cy Young, 200 innings, 200 strikeouts, and hopefully we can do that. When you're so close, does it make you even hungrier? And how hard it is to attain? It's hard. It's hard. I've had that thought a good bit. It's hard to go out there and be really good every 5 days. I had a few games last year where I had some hiccups, and that probably cost me. But it's baseball. It's a hard game, and it's hard to be consistent. So, at the end of the day, you just got to go out there and just keep trying. But I think the ultimate goal is the World Series, and I think that's going to be a better trophy on the shelf at the end of the day. Yeah, final question for you. When you see they add Jesús Luzardo to this rotation, how special is it when you see you guys together and the fact that you got Taijuan Walker also and Andrew Painter on the way? Yeah, we got the depth, and Luzardo's a big addition. He's got a power arm left side, so we've seen him for the past few years, and he's really good. So, like you said, Taijuan, he's having a really good spring. He looks nice and healthy, and looking like Taijuan. So, and then you got Painter waiting in the weeds, and just kind of waiting to do his thing. And
it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. We appreciate the time.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, we are joined by Jesús Luzardo. What would you like to tell Philly about yourself before you head up north to make your debut for the Phillies?
Just a kid from South Florida, trying to help this team win any way that we can.
And how about joining this pitching staff? When you look around the clubhouse and then you see Zack Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Ranger Suarez, all these guys, Christopher Sanchez, what do you kind of learn from each of them?
I think, the most important thing is taking a little bit from everyone. And obviously these guys have had a lot of experience, especially in the playoffs, and a lot of success. So it's something that something I'm trying to, pick up little by little, watching them and asking them questions and seeing how they go about their work and their business. And obviously it's impressive and their work speaks for itself. So I'm excited to just be a part of it.
JT Realmuto said it's kind of interesting, having faced you a bunch of times, and I believe you've struck him out 5 times, that now you are having a relationship here. And what is it like to get to know him and how he likes to call a game?
Yeah, it's awesome. Obviously, a lot of respect for him being on the other side and seeing how he goes about it and playing the game the right way. And he's a vet and knows a lot, so that's what I'm here for. And obviously, just trying to get a better relationship, get to know him a little bit more, and love the way he calls the game back there and how he handles it. So I'm excited to get to work with him.
It was a weird time this off season for you. Were you close to being traded for the Cubs? Was that pretty close to happening?
They would know more than I would. I was just basically waiting on a phone call to see where I was going, but I was unsure of where it was, and Philly definitely wasn't on my mind, but I'm glad it was here.
And I think, did you move back in to the home you grew up in because you didn't know at the time what was going to happen?
No, I have my house. I live about 5 minutes from the house I grew up in, so I was always close to home. And playing for Miami, luckily I was able to live back home, and which was nice. But now I'm glad to kind of get that work and home separation and be away for a little bit and get to work.
And this lineup that you have here, how tough was it to face this lineup when you were with the Marlins?
It was brutal. It was always a tough time, game playing against them and seeing how they work games and work at bats and make it tough on each guy. It was definitely interesting and always hard, but it was good competing against them. But I'm definitely happy I'm on this side now.
I remember talking to JT Realmuto when he came to Philly, and he said in Miami you almost could hear conversations in the opposite dugouts because it's not as many people there. So how much of a change and adrenaline boost is it to be pitching at Citizens Bank Park now?
Big time. Obviously, playing in front of a lot of fans with a lot of passion, and they obviously care about the game a lot. So I think that adds the adrenaline and adds the passion on the mound for us.
So I think you're a big hockey fan. Now, is it your wife or your girlfriend?
My fiance.
Okay, fiance. She have some Rangers fans in her family?
She does have Ranger fans, yeah. Her dad's the biggest Ranger fan I've ever met. So, it's kind of, grew up in South Florida, always watched the Panthers, and then he's a big Ranger fan. So, there's always the back and forth in the family.
And the Flyers, obviously a big rival of the Rangers. Any chance you'll join the Flyers fandom? Yeah,
I'm all for it. I don't necessarily have any ties to a certain team. I obviously, when I'm with him, I root for the Rangers. If I'm at a Panther game, I'll root for the Panthers. But I would love to get out and check out the Flyers.
What is it like to come into this clubhouse? Everybody has talked about how close everybody is in here and how welcoming everybody is.
Yeah, everyone's been extremely welcoming to me. I felt like I was a part of the team from day one. Felt like I knew them right away, playing against them for so long and being able to now get that relationship with them. But everyone's been welcoming, been able to hang out, play some golf with guys, and even just talking in here, just make that kind of that bond, that camaraderie happen easier.
And you obviously do a lot of work for the community through your organization. What kind of pushed you to do that? What in your mind gave you the motivation to help out like that?
The way I was kind of brought up, my parents were always pushing that on me, help out any way that I can. And ever since I was young, I've just kind of felt passionate about certain things. And now using the platform that I have, thankfully, I've been able to help out in any way that I can and try to involve my teammates as well. And even people, in the community that aren't teammates that just want to help out in certain areas. That's what I'm here for. And try to use my platform for a positive and for a good.
Final question for you. I know it's not going to be used in the regular season this year, but the automatic balls and strikes where you can challenge, who do you think that's going to help more? It seems like it would help hitters understand the zone more. Do you think it's not going to help pitchers, or do you think it's kind of even?
I haven't used it enough to know to lean one way or another. I kind of like the human error aspect of the game at times, even though sometimes it might bite us a little bit as pitchers. But I guess, as time goes on, we'll get to know more and more. And, I think that they do a good job of at least implementing it in spring so we guys see what it looks like and they can get their feedback after that.
All right, great. Look forward to seeing you up north.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank you,
your
guys.
time, Jesus. Thank you. All right, we are joined by new Philly, Max Kepler. Tell everybody how it's going so far here.
It's been great. Everybody's very welcoming. And, trainers, staff, the coaches, the players, everyone seems to want to work and get better as a unit. And it's been very, very welcoming, I'd say is the word that jumps out at me. Before I got here, I was a little intimidated, having been in an organization for almost half my life. And so having to come out of my comfort zone to, build new relationships, I wouldn't say it has been the easiest, but it's all been positive because everyone is so easy to get along with, and it's really been great.
Yeah, do you get a feel when you immediately come in here for the chemistry that this clubhouse has together?
Yeah. And immediately you want to be a part of that, but you have to take your time. You don't want to rush things. You want to let and allow relationships to build naturally. And, it's just great to watch these guys work and just to laugh with them, inside the clubhouse.
Yeah. You've had some very productive years in baseball. How grateful are you? You're healthy, and it looks like you're going to have an opportunity here to show Philadelphia what you can bring.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Every year's, in a way, a new chapter, but now with a new team, I've almost gotten to be a part of a new philosophy completely when it comes to the organization, and I've just been soaking everything up like a sponge, when it comes to just the approach, hitting-wise with Kevin Long, to working with Paco in the outfield, to learning from the guys that have incredible swings, and just all around super excited and excited to get out there and get to work.
You went through some tough things health-wise, and I know you're trying to get that power back.
Yeah.
Do you feel pretty good? You look pretty good here at spring training.
I feel solid, yeah. I feel a lot better than what I had been dealing with last year for the second half of the season, and I think I'm in a good place.
So a lot of people say, wow, you were born in Berlin, Germany. How did you follow the path to become a professional baseball player growing up in Berlin, Germany?
So my mom's from the States, and I went to a bilingual school which spoke German and English, just depending on the teacher. That was the John F. Kennedy School in Berlin, and they offered all-American sports, and I picked up baseball there for the first time, and then kind of played soccer, tennis on the side, and in the summers got to go to the States to see my mom's side of the family, and played in baseball camps out there and got to see how the Americans were in love with the game. So my dream was always to come to the States, whether it was, to go to college first, but I wanted to come play baseball in this country at some point, and it worked out.
How cool is that? Professional baseball player in America.
Yeah, I still ask myself how I got here sometimes, but it's definitely a blessing, and I need to thank the numerous amount of people that made it possible for me.
So is there baseball on TV in Germany when you're growing up? Like, did you see it a lot?
Yeah, so I was born in the 90s, where TVs were kind of just coming into play, if you remember. But we had our TV locked up. We didn't get to watch much TV, but we got to watch the big rivalries, like the Yankees-Red Sox games. And usually if they were day games with the time zone, we got to watch the full game. If they were night games, as kids, we couldn't stay up past 1 on the weekend. But yeah, it was usually the big rivalries that they would broadcast, and it was once every blue moon. But we knew when they were coming on.
It's a very cool path you have taken to become a Philadelphia Philly. So do you know, trivia time, there's one other player who was born in Germany that played for the Phillies. Oh, you got it.
Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to be wrong, but I played with him on the German baseball team, the national team. I think it was back in 12 or 13. It was Aaron Altair.
You got it.
And Yeah, I approached him for the first time thinking that he would have, somewhat of an accent, but he's as American as they get, but with a very German name. But
Yeah.
Great guy.
Is it quite an honor to have the most home runs for a German-born professional baseball player in America?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm grateful for it. Then again, it's a small sample size, but I mean, I'll take it for sure.
And they could introduce you that way when you come to the plate, give you a little...
Yeah, I hope my head doesn't get too big if that's announced too often, but yeah, small sample size, and we have a lot of work to do, and yeah, stay within myself and just do what I can control.
So what is it like to face, like you did today, some of these great starting pitchers that the Phillies have?
It's good. It's good for the growth of any player, It can be intimidating because, Wheels is probably top 3 best pitchers in the league, and Luzardo's up there too. So just to get to see the way they throw the ball, I think is always very good for the progress of any hitter, where after you see a guy like that, the stuff that follows, the pitchers that follow, they're going to look easier to you, if that makes sense, because you see the nastiest stuff right then and there.
Yeah. You said a little intimidated, so facing Wheels or something for the first time can be a little intimidating?
Oh, for sure. I have a certain amount of respect, and then the competitor comes out in me, and you have to put that aside. But yeah, like when I first got to the league, I'd say I was intimidated by the guys that I used to watch on TV. Now I wouldn't say I'm intimidated, but it's a certain respect that you have for the guys that have really, dealt and been as successful as they are in the game.
Yeah. And when you see yourself in the lineup with some of these great hitters on this team, what have you learned from some of the great sluggers, hitters, and everybody?
I'd say consistency, when it comes to stuff off the field before the game, preparation, and then recovery after the game. The routine is one of the most important things in this game, and I think it locks you as a player in and ready to compete every day. But then, on the field is obviously the most impressive and what everyone gets to see, but it's just the consistency of, regardless of how you feel, continuing to do your work where nobody's watching you. And, yeah, that's always what I try and learn from the guys that have been in the league successful and are still doing it.
A couple final questions for you. You mentioned a new philosophy because you've only known one way here in American baseball. So how would you describe the philosophy of the Philadelphia Phillies and maybe the expectations of this team?
Well, I don't want to share too much, but I'd say that, it's spring training, so it might be early, but just based off how guys go about their business now, they seem to have fun and don't let results get to them. It's spring training, but everyone seems to take everything pretty lightly and are laughing things off if it doesn't go their way, so that they can just move on to the next at bat or the next play. And everyone seems to be having each other's backs. And not saying that wasn't the case in Minnesota, but it's nice to feel that type of light atmosphere when you walk into a room or you're in the clubhouse and people are just having fun. And it's almost like a bunch of kids, and everything around the game doesn't seem to faze them at all, which is nice to see.
Yeah. For you, what's it going to be like, do you think, to be part of the home team playing at Citizens Bank Park? I'm sure you've seen the vibe for playoff baseball at Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Every time I got to play there, it was a blast. Even if they were heckling or talking smack or whatnot, I like the energy. The place is always buzzing on a Monday or a Saturday, and it helps push the players. It helps supply adrenaline, and also just to feel the expectations from the fans is something that I'm wanting to play for. That's it's good to have behind the support.
So you've heard it from Philly fans when you were the visitor?
Oh yeah.
Well, what would they say?
I can't say unless you want to censor it, but
Did they do their research on you? Did they know?
Oh yeah.
They do.
For sure. So I should maybe go into my Wikipedia when I'm on the road and start editing and stuff, and so they get the facts wrong according to that site.
Exactly.
But no, they definitely can heckle with the best of them.
Yeah. Are you going to be able to find German food in Philly? Like, you probably still love German food?
Yeah, I mean, I've been looking here, no luck.
No luck in Clearwater, Florida.
No, to be honest, the best I found was in New York, like up in that corner in Northeast. So there might be a chance.
Yeah.
They have great food, a great food scene in Philly. I've discovered.
Very cool. Ever had a cheesesteak?
Oh yeah, a couple days ago.
Nice.
But it's not the same as in Philly, So
Yeah. Well, that'll be a first when you get up to Philly. You can get the first cheesesteak.
yeah, hopefully with an off day to follow. So
Yeah.
you can digest it.
As we wrap it up, getting to know you a little bit, could you let Philadelphia know the name you were born with so that we can...
My first name?
First name, middle name, last name.
Maximilian Kepler Ruzitsky. That's my full name.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So you're going with Max Kepler, though. Announcements and everything.
Easier to pronounce, yeah. But yeah, so Kepler is my mom's maiden name, and Ruzitsky is my dad's name. So I've thought about switching just to honor my dad, but he said it's not a big deal. So
Wow.
we're sticking with Kepler for now.
Awesome. Well, welcome to Philly.
Thank you.
Appreciate a couple minutes getting to know you. All right, we are here with Phillies hitting coach Kevin Long, and how impressed are you with the at-bats, especially this weekend?
Well, they've been pretty good. We're starting to kind of get our groove, get our mojo, and we know we've got 2 weeks before we really get going. And I can tell a difference in the cage work. I can tell a difference in their BP and how they're going about it. They're starting to pay attention and get ready for the season.
And last year, after a little bit of struggle in the playoffs against the Mets, Rob Thompson talked about maybe better plate discipline or spraying the ball, all aspects of the field. How have you seen that play out? How are you working with that?
Well, I was just talking about the ABS system and how fortunate we are to actually try it out in spring training. I think it's helping us. It's helping us understand that if it's off the plate, it's a ball, and I think guys are bearing down. Hopefully we'll see more of that during the season, but I think it's definitely helping us.
How about Kyle Schwarber? He spoke to us about, obviously, he can hit a home run, but last year maybe hitting more for average. What do you see him doing this year if he's hitting out of the cleanup spot possibly?
Well, he's just a guy who makes adjustments and always is trying to get himself a little bit better. He went into last year saying, I'm not a 200 hitter. I'm a much better hitter than that. I'm going to be more cognizant of getting the barrel to the ball and putting the ball in play, not getting to as many two-strike counts. So he went out and did that. This year he's worked on being direct with his barrel and not moving it as much. I think he's obviously a superb player, and putting him in the 4-hole, maybe he gets an opportunity for some of those homers not to be solo shots, but 2-3 run shots. We'll see how it plays out, but hitting first, second, third, fourth, you can put Kyle Schwarber anywhere in our lineup and we're going to be better because of him.
And how about Trey Turner? Do you think he would be most comfortable in the leadoff spot?
I've seen him in the leadoff spot. I've seen him in the 2-hole. I've seen him in the 3-hole. I feel very confident with Trey Turner anywhere you want to put him as well. If he leads off, if he gets on in the first inning, there's a pretty good chance he's scoring, where Kyle did it a different way. A lot of those runs that he scored were he drove himself in. He drove himself in last year 38 times, year before that over 40. So he's still going to do that regardless of where he bats in the lineup. But Trey at the leadoff spot, maybe it gets him in the zone more. And he has said that his goal would be to score 100 runs. And I think that's a feasible goal.
And you talked about him being on the base pass. Do you think he would be able to utilize all that with Bryce coming up after? Rob Thompson did say Bryce would bat second if Trey's leading off. Do you think he would be able to fully utilize that?
Absolutely. I mean, he's as fast as anybody I've ever seen on the bases, and if he wants to steal a base and, Bryce is up there, and Bryce isn't going to take a cookie, but, certainly if it's a ball, Bryce will take it and Trey will be standing on second. So, I think it's a good combination, and Bryce is one of those guys who controls the strike zone well, and it's not going to bother him if Trey's stealing.
What have you seen from Alec Boehm coming back here? Obviously dealt with the hand last year. He had some struggles in the playoffs. What have you seen his attitude and his swing
He's been terrific. I honestly think that he hurt himself, and I think his hand was a big factor on why he wasn't able to do some things late in the year. I mean, here's a guy who was arguably our best hitter almost all year long. He's was hitting well over 300, driving in runs, and in the last month it kind of fell apart. He came back after the injury and just didn't seem the same, just didn't seem like he had the oomph that he had earlier in the year. So I'm excited for Ballmer to have a full year of success. He was an all-star, by the way. So he's a really good player and someone we should feel very lucky that we have hitting in the middle of our lineup.
And that's a fascinating point you made about the ABS system, that you think it is actually probably really helping the hitters this spring. Will that translate to regular season when that goes away?
I hope so. I think the umpires have done a terrific job of just making sure and kind of bearing down back there. If they can take what they're doing out here, I think, it's definitely an advantage, and we need to take advantage of it. If it's an actual strike zone that, umpires are being held accountable for, I think it's good for the game. I think it's good for hitters. I think it's good for pitchers. You got to be able to throw the ball over the plate, and hitters, you got to make sure that they throw the ball over the plate. So I think it works both ways. I think you'll see maybe some of these averages, the major league averages at 242. It's just not very high. I think that number maybe goes up a little bit, and we get a little more offense in the game.
Final question for you. Obviously, this rotation could be arguably the best in baseball. What do you expect from the lineup this year with some adjustments that you guys are making? And on paper, this lineup should be very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, I expect us to be, a top 5 offense in all of baseball, which we were last year and the year before and the year before. We just have to be consistent, and we have to show up every single game. And we have to have the attitude that, we got to go out and get a championship. And nothing else is acceptable. And we'll, if we don't put together the at-bats that we're capable of, then we'll find ourselves going home, and that's not going to work.
And last year, I guess, is a good reminder for that. And
I mean, we go to the World Series, and then we get knocked out. One before the World Series, and now we get knocked out in the first round. So we got some work to do, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows what's ahead of us. Getting to the playoffs is great, but we got to finish it off once we get there.
All right, we are here with Andrew Painter. Give Philly an idea of what your goals are, what you're hoping for this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the goal every year is to go out and win a World Series. Personal goals, the big thing for me is past year has been hurt. So just stay healthy all year. And like you look at Aaron Nola, it's 200 innings every year. So just stay healthy.
Is he a great example? He actually said the other day he felt blessed to get hurt early in his career, and he's been able to be completely durable for these last 8 years.
Yeah, he's been a great resource for me. Talked to him a little bit, and that's kind of what he said. Got hurt earlier on. Luckily, didn't have to go get under the knife, but it allowed him to kind of figure out what works with him, figure out how his body operates and what he needs to do to stay healthy. So I've been leaning on him and trying to get a little input here and there from him.
So obviously we've heard from Dave Dombrowski and Rob Thompson. What is your goal as far as getting out there and being a part of this rotation?
Yeah, I mean, any way I can help out, right? This rotation's deep. It's a good problem to have. So I'm excited to see what happens this year, and hopefully I can help anyway.
Are you thinking, are they like what they were saying, mid-season or something?
Yeah, I mean, whenever. Just focus on facing hitters next week and just taking it one step at a time.
Yeah. And how has it been coming back and getting reacclimated with your body and your arm?
It's been good. I'm really glad I got out to Arizona for the fall league. That was kind of like my test run of getting into a normal schedule and kind of just getting my feet wet in that. So I feel good coming into spring training and with that in the past, and I can go out there and do it. So.
How about for you mentally? Like, how have you maybe put some speed governors on you once in a while? Because you want to get out there, you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to look at the end game. It's a long season, 162 games, not including playoffs. So, every game matters, but the ones at the end matter the most, and that's when you want to be ready for.
When you talk about this deep rotation, like even Taijuan Walker, he's trying to fight for a spot. How much do you think the competition helps everybody?
Yeah, I mean, the vibes are good. Everyone's, getting along. Everyone feels good. Ties look great this spring. Luzardo's look great. So it's like, it's friendly competition. Everyone wants to win, and that's the goal for all of us. So I think everyone has the same mindset of, however they can help, they want to.
I remember talking to you about envisioning what Philadelphia is like and pitching at Citizens Bank Park. You see the Eagles win a Super Bowl. How much do you want to be a part of the energy of Philadelphia?
Yeah, I mean, it's electric. I'm sure even October you'll hear Eagles chants at CVP. So, it's great. The fans show up. The fans love it. They want to win, just like us. So, super exciting.
Final question for you. Talking to some of the guys, they've used the word unfinished business or words unfinished business. Do you get that sense, even though they took a step back in the playoffs last year? Saw the Dodgers do that, but then they come back and win the World Series. Do you get the sense there's that hunger, almost starving?
Yeah, absolutely. I think last year was very different than the other years. Started off really hot, whereas years before started off cold and just went cold at the wrong time. So each year the regular season has been better and better. So I think everyone's looking to build off that and just get hot at the right time and finish strong.
We look forward to seeing you in the rotation.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man.